We are listening Talks with Shri Ramana Maharshi. Talk 43 now. Mr. S. Ranganathan, ICS, Collector of Vellore, Mr. S. V. Ramamurthy, ICS, and Mr. T. Raghavaya, late Diwan of Pudukkottai state, visited the ashram of Maharshi. Mr. Ranganathan asked, kindly instruct me as to how the mind may be controlled. To this, Maharshi Ramana said that there are simply two methods. The one is to see what the mind is. Then it subsides. The second is to fix your attention on something, then the mind remains quiet. The questioner repeated the question for further elucidation. The same answer was returned with a little more added. The questioner did not look satisfied. Then Mr. Raghavaya asked that men of the world that we are, we have some kind of grief or another and don't know how to get over it. We pray to God and still are not satisfied. What can we do? Maharshi said, trust God. We surrender, but still there is no help, that man answered. Ramana Maharshi advised that, yes, if you have surrendered, you must be able to abide by the will of God and not make a grievance of what may not please you. Things may turn out differently from what they look apparently. Distress often leads men to faith in God. Then that devotee said, but we are worldly. There is the wife, there are the children, there are friends, relatives. We cannot ignore their existence and resign ourselves to the divine will without retaining some little of the personality in us. Maharshi said, that means you have not surrendered as professed by you. You must only trust God. Then Mr. Ramamurthy asked that, Swamiji, I have read Brunton's book, A Search in Secret India, and was much impressed by the last chapter where he says that it is possible to be conscious without thinking. I know that one can think, remaining forgetful of the physical body. Can one think without the mind? Is it possible to gain that consciousness which is beyond thoughts? Ramana Maharshi said, yes. There is only one consciousness which subsists in waking, dream, sleep states. In sleep there is no I. The I thought arises on waking and then the world appears. Where was this I in sleep? Was it there or was it not? It must have been there also, but not in the way that you feel now. The present is only the I thought, whereas the sleeping I is the real I. Maharshi said further that it subsists all through. It is consciousness. If it is known, you will see that it is beyond thoughts. Then the devotee asked that, Maharshi, can we think without the mind? Ramana Maharshi said, thoughts may be like any other activities not disturbing to the Supreme Consciousness. Then the devotee said, can one read others' mind? The master, as usual, told him to find his self before worrying about others. Where are others apart from one's own self? Asked the master. Then Mr. Raghavya said, Master, how shall we correlate the higher experience with the lower experience? That is, the meaning spiritual experience with mundane affairs. Ramana Maharshi replied, there is only one experience. What are the worldly experiences but those built up on the false I? Ask the most successful man of the world if he knows his self. He will say, no. What can anyone know without knowing self? All worldly knowledge is built upon such a flimsy foundation. Then Ramamurti asked that how to know the real I as distinct from the false I, Maharshi? Then Maharshi Ramana replied, is there anyone who is not aware of himself? Each one knows but yet does not know the self. This is a strange paradox. The master added later that if the inquiry is made whether mind exists, it will be found that mind does not exist. That is control of mind. Otherwise, if the mind is taken to exist and one seeks to control it, it amounts to mind controlling the mind, just like a thief turning out to be policeman to catch the thief, that is himself. Mind persists in that way alone but eludes itself. Talk 44. Mr. Eknath Rao, an engineer, asked Sri Bhagavan if solitude is necessary for the vicharan or for vichar. Ramana Maharshi said, there is solitude everywhere. The individual is solitary always. His business is to find it out within and not seek it without. Then the devotee said that the work a day world is distracting. Ramana Maharshi said, do not allow yourself to be distracted. Inquire for whom there is distraction. It will not afflict you after a little practice. When Maharshi said that after a little practice, your distraction will get less, then the devotee said, even the attempt is impossible, Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi said, Make it and it will be found not so difficult. But the answer doesn't come for the search inward. This was asked. Ramana Maharshi said the engineer that the inquirer is the answer and no other answer can come. What comes afresh cannot be true. What always is true. Talk 45. A visitor asked that the path of realization is difficult. Worldly matters are easy of understanding, whereas this is not. Ramana Maharshi said, yes, the mind always seeks external knowledge, leaving aside its own inner knowledge. A stay of 1 day with Sri Bhagavan is good, a stay of 2 days is better, and of 3 days more so, and so on. If it is a continuous stay here, how shall we get on with our mundane or the worldly work? Maharshi replied to this as, stay here or stay elsewhere. This must be understood to be the same and to have the same effect. Talk 46. After hearing the Malayalam version of Upadesh Sar chanted, Mr. Ramachandra Iyer of Nagarkovil asked in characteristically unsophisticated way about the mind, concentration and control. The master said that the mind is only identity of the self with the body. It is a false ego that is created. It creates false phenomena in its turn and appears to move in them. All these are false. The self is the only reality. If the false identity vanishes, the persistence of the reality becomes apparent. It does not mean that reality is not here and now. It is always there and eternally the same. It is also in everyone's experience, for everyone knows that he is. Who is he subjectively? Who am I? The false ego is associated with objects. This ego itself is its own object. Objectivity is the falsity. Subject is alone the reality. Don't confound yourself with the object, namely the body. This gives rise to the false ego. Consequently, of the world and your movements therein with the resulting misery, do not think yourself to be this, that, or anything, to be so and so, or to be such and such. Only leave off the falsity. The reality will reveal itself. The scriptures say that the self is Nitya Siddha, ever present, and yet speak of the removal of Ajnana. If self is Nitya, that is always, and Siddha, present and perfect, how can there be Ajnana? For whom is the Ajnana? These are contradictory. But such statements are for guiding the earnest seeker in the right way. Because he does not readily understand the only truth if mentioned in plain words as in Natvam Naham Name Janadhipaha. Not thou, nor I, nor these kings. Sri Krishna declared the truth, but Arjun could not grasp it. Later, Sri Krishna plainly says that people confound him with the body, whereas in reality he was not born, nor will he die. Still, Arjun requires the whole Gita for the truth to be made clear to him. Look, the self is only being, not being this or that. It is simple being. Be, and there is an end of the ignorance. Inquire for whom is the ignorance. The ego arises when you wake up from sleep. In deep sleep, you do not say that you are sleeping and that you are going to wake up or that you have been sleeping so long. But still you are there. Only when you are awake, you say that you have slept. Your wakefulness comprises sleep also in it. Realize your pure being. Let there be no confusion with the body. The body is the result of thoughts. The thoughts will play as usual, but you will not be affected. You were not concerned with the body when you were sleeping, so you can always remain. You can always remain. Then Mr. Eknath Rao asked that how can anyone reconcile such activity with the wage earning which is a necessity for worldly people? Ramana Maharshi said, actions form no bondage. Bondage is only the false notion, I am the doer. Leave off such thoughts and let the body and senses play their role unimpeded by your interference. Talk 47. A Malayali visitor expressed his concern for the misery of the world and his opinion that quest for self looked selfish in the midst of such suffering environments. His solution appeared to be selfless work. Maharshi replied, the sea is not aware of its wave. Similarly, the self is not aware of its ego. This makes clear what Sri Bhagavan means by quest for the source of ego. Let us listen this answer once more. Ramana Maharshi said, the sea is not aware of its wave. Similarly, the self is not aware of its ego. Talk 48 now. A visitor asked Sri Bhagavan that, you are Bhagavan, so you would know when I shall get jnana. Tell me when I shall be a jnani. Shri Bhagavan replied, if I am Bhagavan, there is no one besides the self, therefore no jnani or no ajnani. If otherwise, I am as good as you are and know as much as yourself. Either way, I cannot answer your question. Talk 49. Some men asked the master questions which ultimately resolve themselves into one, that I is not perceptible however much they might struggle. The master's reply was in the usual strain, that who is it that says that I is not perceptible? Is there an I ignorant and an I elusive? Are there two I's in the same person? Ask yourself of these questions. It is the mind which says I is not perceptible. Where is that mind from? Know the mind, you will find it a myth. King Janaka said once that I have discovered the thief who had been ruining me so long. I will now deal with him summarily, then I shall be happy. Similarly, it will be with others. Devotee then asked that how to know this I? Ramana Maharshi said, the I is always there. There is no knowing it. It is not a new phenomena or knowledge acquired. What is new and not here and now will be evanescent only. The I is always there. There is no obstruction to its knowledge, and it is called ignorance. Remove the ignorance and knowledge shines forth. In fact, this ignorance or even knowledge is not for Atma. They are only overgrowths to be cleared off. That is why Atma is said to be beyond knowledge and ignorance. It remains as it naturally is, that is all. Then the devotee asked, there is no perceptible progress in spite of our attempts. Ramana Maharshi said, progress can be spoken of in things to be obtained afresh, whereas here it is the removal of ignorance and not acquisition of knowledge. What kind of progress can be expected in the quest for the self? The devotee then asked, how to remove this ignorance you are talking? Ramana Maharshi replied, while lying in bed in Tiruvanmalai, you dream in your sleep that you find yourself in another town. The scene is real to you. Your body remains here on your bed in a room. Can a town enter your room? Or could you have left this place and gone elsewhere, leaving the body here? Both are impossible. Therefore, your being here and seeing another town are both unreal. They appear real to the mind. The I of the dream soon vanishes, then another I speaks of the dream. This eye was not in the dream. Both the eyes are unreal. There is substratum of the mind which continues all along, giving rise to so many scenes. An eye rises forth with every thought, and with its disappearance, that eye disappears too. Many eyes are born and dying every moment. The subsisting mind is the real trouble. That is the thief, according to Janaka. Find him out and you will be happy. Talk 50. Shri Bhagavan read out from the Prabuddha Bharat. Kabir's saying that all know what the drop, all know that the drop merges into ocean, but few know that the ocean merges into the drop. This is Parabhakti, said he. Talk 51. A young Brahmin, 25 years of age, came on a visit to the master. At his sight, he became hysterical and shouted, Shivoham, Aham Brahmasmi, you are God, you are Parabrahma, you are my father, Father save me, and so on. His hysterics waxing, he beat his chest violently, alternately with both his hands, shouting Shivoham, Shivoham. Then again he shouted hysterically, gnashing his teeth, I will stamp out materialism, as if he was crushing materialism between his teeth. Then he asked, either give me power or I will. He began as if to throttle himself. When gently removed by others, he fell prostrate before Sri Bhagavan, saying, I will take refuge at the feet of my father. Father, you are Partha Sarathi, I am Arjun. We will stamp out materialism, and so on. He was finally taken away from the presence of Maharshi. He washed himself, took some light refreshment, and quietly seated himself in the hall for some hours. He abstained from the midday meal. In the afternoon, he had another fit when he shouted, I will chop off the head of Krishna if he should come here now. Krishna advised me to give up my job but does not protect my mother, or let him chop off my head, and so on. After some hours of quiet, Sri Bhagavan asked Mr. K.L. Sharma to read out a portion of his commentary on Anubandha. The gist of it is that people unable to help themselves ask for divine powers to be utilized for human welfare. This is similar to the story of a lame man who blustered, saying that he would overpower the enemy if only he were held on to his legs. The intention is good, but there is no sense of proportion. The young man, on hearing it, suddenly sprang to his feet, saluting Sri Bhagavan and saying, Father, Father, I was mistaken. Pardon me, Teach me, I shall abide by what you say, and so on. Then again in the evening he prostrated himself, saying, I surrender. With this, now we take a pause. Hope the listening is creating welfare inside and outside. Thanks for listening.